Let's turn briefly to Eric Richins' estate. Did you analyze the value of Eric Richins' estate?
Yes.
What material did you study in this analysis?
The insurance policies, the life insurance policies, including there's a life insurance two life insurance policies that Eric and his business partner had on each other. So there's the company, the documents that relate to that, the bank accounts, the documents related to the house where the family lived, and his bank account statements.
Are the bank accounts de minimis in relation to Eric's interest in C&E, his life insurance, and his home?
Pretty much, yes.
Let's set those aside then.
Right.
How is Eric Richins' interest in C&E, or how was Eric Richins' interest in C&E determined upon his death?
It's based on the value of those life insurance policies, so it's basically $2 million.
It's exactly $2 million, wasn't it?
It's exactly $2 million, yes.
Scott, can I get 7-28 Delta? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
Did you prepare it?
I did.
What material did you use to prepare it?
The insurance policies of each of these insurance policies, the applications for a couple of them, the claim information, and also the payout of these policies.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 7-28D.
Objection.
7-28D is admitted.
Ma'am, what again is this?
This is just a simple list of the different life insurance policies. I have not included the buy-sell agreement policies, the $2 million that benefited Eric's business partner, but these are the others.
Scott, if you could please highlight the claim paid, the policy amount column. Does this show that Eric Richins had $2.2 essentially $1 million in insurance upon his life?
Yes.
Scott, can you go to the claim amount paid? What, ma'am, does this column, what information, ma'am, does this column present?
So for each of these policies, there was a specific amount paid. Like the top one is related to the house, and so it paid 70% of the existing mortgage, not the second, but the first. The things that I've highlighted in green are the 3 policies that were paid directly to Kouri Richins. The others were paid, the $500,000 was paid to the Eric Richins Trust.
We'll come back. So, well, summing up the amounts of insurance paid to Kouri Richins, was that $1.36 million?
That's correct.
Thank you, Scott. We spoke earlier about Eric Richins' premarital home.
Yes.
What was the approximate value of that home?
I think it was about $1 million, give or take.
And it was encumbered by the $250,000 HELOC that Kouri Richins signed for.
That's correct.
And was there an outstanding mortgage that was 70% satisfied by life insurance?
That's right.
We talked about the $1.3 million in life insurance proceeds that Kouri Richins received upon Eric Richins' death. Did you trace how she used those proceeds?
I did.
Scott, can you bring up 7-31D? Ma'am, do you recognize this document?
I do.
Did you prepare it?
I did.
What material did you use to prepare it?
I looked at Kouri Richins' America First Credit Union accounts and also Kouri Richins' UCCU account where she deposited the $1 million. And I guess that's it.
Your Honor, the state moves to admit 7-31D.
No objection.
States 7-31D is admitted.
What, ma'am, does this present?
So on another schedule, I've listed every single transaction that I've traced back to the 3 deposits of insurance proceeds. And so the first line of this shows on June 16th, 2022, she got a little over $1 million from the auto owner's life insurance policy. And what I sought to show is before the money came in or as the money came in, how much was in her accounts. So she had $543,000. I'm sorry, let me back up. She got the $1 million in. And then the next one down on June 25th, the $251,000 that comes in. When that comes in, what was the balance in her account before the second policy was paid? And she had $543,000 in that account. So basically she spent about half of the $1 million between the 16th and the 24th. And then on September 2nd, if you go to the third one that's paid, is that $100,000 policy got paid, and that's when she received those proceeds. And what was in her account the day before was $9,691. So that meant that she had spent the $1.2 million basically before she got that last $100,000, and then that final line on September 19th, she had $802 in her account. So that's just a look at the balances. And then I have looked at every transaction in these accounts to show, to try to understand how those proceeds were used.
We'll turn there next, but let me just make sure we understand this.
Okay?
So does this show that between June and September, 3 months between June and September, she received $1.36 million in life insurance proceeds and spent $1.36 million in life insurance proceeds?
That's what the bank account shows, and this is drawn from the bank accounts.
Thank you. Scott, can you bring up 7-29D, please?
Your Honor, we're broke up again.
My apologies. Let's reset. I need you to unplug and plug back in, Scott. Oh, there you are. I apologize. All right, one moment. 7-29D is visible to the witness.
Ms. Karrington, did you prepare this document?
I did.
What material did you use to prepare it?
The bank accounts that I just spoke of, the America First Credit Union accounts, and also the UCCU account.
Your Honor, the state moves 7-29D into evidence.
I'm sorry, can we just blow up the very tippy top of it, just so I can see the label on it?
Thank you. No objection.
And, 7-29D is admitted.
And then Scott, can you split screen the 2 pages? Now, Ms. Karrington, am I right that it doesn't really read left to right, it reads top to bottom?
It's a vertical, yes.
So this page on the right is really right down here.
That's correct.
Okay, what information does this demonstrative present?
So I wanted to portray the funds that came in from Eric's death, and I've highlighted, or I put in bold the different life insurance policies, proceeds that came in, and then the way those were spent. I have taken everything over $1,000 to try and be brief. Obviously, this isn't brief, but so there are a lot of transactions for, whatever, $700 or $43. Those are not on here. So anything over 1,000 is on.
And Scott, if you could go down to the very bottom, so the very bottom of page 2. What information does this present?
So this shows even without putting those de minimis transactions in there, there's 1.3, almost 1.4 use of the proceeds, or that came in, and she spent the 1.2, so she spent it all. And then my footnotes here, I attempted to do the same thing that was in that other section, my footnote 2. These are the different accounts that she had, and these are the account balances when the new insurance comes in.
Now let's just highlight, Scott, maybe the far left column on the first page. Perfect. So that shows where, when she gets a $1 million life insurance payment into the account, you then detail where it goes.
That's right.
And those are all the transactions below it.
That's right. And so you can see the money comes in, and there are some expenses for projects. There are expenses to pay debt, figure lending, Green Grass Holding, the One Main Financial. But I can see things that do relate to what I'm thinking are projects like Rocky Mountain Dirt, Home Depot, Lowe's, et cetera, et cetera. And then you see on 6/4/22 those 5 transactions to the Utah State Tax Commission. And especially on the right, Scott, can you see that bottom one? 6/4/2022 Utah State Tax Commission, and go over, and it's $50,000, $342. Thank you, that one. That matches one of the tax liens, the state tax liens that I was talking about earlier. So that's one of them. And those other amounts could be for the other $20,000, or it could be for something else, but one way or another, those are tax payments.
Do you see that entry on 6/24/22 to Robert Grossman for $25,000?
Yes.
Are you familiar with who Robert Grossman is?
Yes, he's Robert Josh Grossman. Josh Grossman, I understand, was Kouri Richins' boyfriend during this time.
Thank you, ma'am. When you analyzed how the $1.3 million in insurance proceeds were dispersed, approximately how much of that $1.3 million were used to pay debt?
About $600,000, somewhere in there. So about half, little less than half, was used to pay debt.